And you're looking at an unchanged lineup, and you're looking at a couple of changes.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, we're talking about that just then actually. So we're if there is a change, it might be one. But we're pretty settled with our list. We've got some players coming back the next few weeks, but at the moment we're not too far off staying the same.
What's your view on an accountable mid for this week, given what they've got running around?
Yeah, well, who do you go to? Looking at last time we played them, we had a couple of roles. We had a different makeup. I think there's 10 players, around about 10 players who aren't playing this time around. So, and their side's a lot different as well. What we do know though is that they've got tremendous players, in particular through the midfield. So, I won't be giving away too much, but we need to give them some attention.
Can you talk us through how someone like Mark Hutchings sits in your selection thinking for a game like this?
Yeah, he's right in the mix with, he's a little bit unlucky not to be available for round one through selection, but just the structure of the side's a little bit different, as I'm sure you guys have seen. So he's playing well enough to play senior football, so if there's a spot there for him and a role, he'll take it.
And would that role likely to be if you decide to be accountable with one of their three games?
I won't go into that detail. He's capable enough to play in his own right as a midfielder, and he's also got the option to run with a player as well.
How many would you hold out of East Perth with that sort of thinking?
No. Just a normal, probably one traveller.
Braden Ainsworth's been counted in. Is there a chance he'll get minutes this weekend?
Yeah, there is a chance. He performed pretty well for his first game of senior football, albeit against Subi, who totally annihilated our young East Perth side. So he's definitely in the mix. He'll be in the squad, and that decision will be made today. Yeah.
Have you seen Gary Ablett's first couple of weeks? A heap of the footy. Has you seen his impact on the game itself over the first two rounds?
Yeah, look, he doesn't look like he's lost too much in terms of what he can bring. His ability to find the ball, he's really clean around the stoppage, around the contest, and he knows how to kick a goal. And I'm pretty sure we were saying that about 10 years ago. So it's not a lot's changed. I know there's been a little bit spoken about what they're producing, but it's still pretty high end, and obviously it's something we've got to look out for. But it's not the only thing. There's other things that we need to be on top on.
Inconsistency plagued the side last season. How important, after being buoyed last week, is to repeat that performance again on Sunday?
Yeah, we're different than last year. I think that's pretty clear. And like I said, there's up to 10 players who played round 13 last year aren't playing this weekend. So we've reflected on last season and we've moved on. I think it's pretty evident what we've done. So, yeah, we're here to set new standards and change a bit of direction on that.
You've spoken in the past that if you try to shut down too many players, then it also affects you too much. How do you go about finding the line of how many you can shut down?
Look, it's an interesting question about how you do it. Sometimes you start with a run with role, or someone putting a lot more attention on a player. Sometimes it's a go-to. Players who get their tails up, sometimes they're hard to stop. What have we got? What are our strengths? What can we do? And try and find that lack of compromise. We don't want to do that. So that's all part of match committee and selection and strategy. We've done both before, so hopefully we'll keep the cats guessing going into Sunday.
Do you look at Elliot Yeo and think he's the sort of guy that could potentially play a role but then hurt the other way as well?
Look, if this was match committee, we'd be having a great conversation. But I reckon a bit might get out if we discuss that. So we've got to put some things in place and talk through some scenarios, and we're doing that. So rest assured we're going through all that detail. But like I said before, it's more than just 2 or 3 players with Geelong.
You've dominated the hit-outs in the first couple of weeks. How have you viewed that impacting the clearances and how that's worked?
Yeah, that's something that we're going to put a lot of focus on. We've got 2 ruckmen who are winning their fair share of hit-outs. The connection is not where we want it to be at the moment. So we see that as a bit of a improvement area going forward. It's the first time those 2 have played together, for a long time, and getting used to that connectivity is something that we're working through with our mids, and we're definitely not, maximising that at the moment. So that's one of our goals, one of our challenges, and this week with the quality we're going against, it'll be another challenge. But it's something it's a good problem to have, I suppose.
Has Lycett been a bit undervalued, perhaps, given there's been so much tension on the other fella coming back?
Well, I think not from our end. No, we thought he was one of our best players last week. You know, his value to the side's evident when he's on the ground and he's on the track. And last year he played one game. So hence, you know, the Petrie situation and Vardy coming over really helped us fill that void. But, you know, they're probably our two best ruck combinations, and Vardy's not too far away as well. So Scott at his best brings more than just ruck capabilities. He can kick goals and he can put really good pressure on as well.
How are the nerves heading back to Optus Stadium after round one's loss?
No, nerves are fine. No, we love playing there. We've been training there a little bit. You know, we obviously want to get a win there and make it a ground that's really hard to play against us at. So we haven't ticked that box yet. So that's our challenge. But no, we're not nervous about it.
Would you look at leaving your ruckman out there forward longer than normal? Hawthorn marked a lot. Their tools marked a lot on Geelong's defenders inside the tackle 50.
Yeah, I think down the track, once we get those guys fully match conditions, we think there's some presence you can have there. We've got Josh Kennedy, there's another one who we could probably squeeze into that forward line going forward. So once he's available, we think we can add to that marking power forward to centre. But those two, if they play together, Nick and Scott, they need to have impact forward of the play when they do go forward. We can't just rotate them off the bench. But at the moment, we're working through those rotations.
We saw Hawthorn kick nearly 120 points against them on Monday. He's actually just taking them on head-to-head an option for you. Hawthorn were able to get through them.
Yeah, they did, but Geelong did the same thing as well. I mean, you know, both sides almost scored 120 points, and you know that happened to us a little bit in round one with Sydney. So, yeah, look, seasons normally operate this way, don't they? The first 5 or 6 rounds there's a lot of high scoring, a lot of exciting football, and traditionally things settle down a little bit. So we're probably in that phase where everything's pretty aggressive with ball movement and transition, and yeah, our goal is not to probably go into a shootout. I wouldn't have thought.
How did you view the efforts of your young players last week, and would you be looking to go with all of them again on Sunday?
Oh, definitely, yeah. They're holding up their end of the bargain. They're bringing real excitement to the group. I think our leaders have probably been energised as well with what we've seen. They're going to take time, you know, to get to full strength and full development, but the signs we're seeing at the moment, it's really exciting for us, and I'm sure the fans and supporters have seen the same thing as well. So, yeah, they'll all play.
Outside of the big three of the Cats, where are some of their other areas that you really need to focus on?
Oh, look, they're collective. I mean, they've for a long period of time now have challenged for premierships. So the way they coach, their system, their forward line, it's got some real presence and some dangerous players in the front half, and their back half's young and learning, just like our front half. So I think it'll be battle of the kids in our front half and their back half, but in the mids and forwards, it's going to be a real challenge for us.
Did you wield a bit of a stick at East Perth this week, Simo? Because it does have an impact on, you know, your players coming through to the senior level. Were you concerned about that performance last week?
Yeah, we were disappointed. Yeah, disappointed for the club. We're a different profile at East Perth now. We're going to have a lot more young talent coming through, and we need to complement that with the East Perth boys as well. So it wasn't a great day. I can't shy away from it, and I think the boys are pretty keen to come out this week and change that direction.
How much do you work with Luke Webster in that situation?
Yeah, well, he's here all week, so we're here to help him get better as a coach and grow, as well as develop our players and find that balance with the partnership. So unfortunately, it's been 2 or 3 years in a row now that we haven't started as well as we would have liked, but Subi a pretty good side, and Peel was a pretty good side the week before. So we just got to get that balance right and make sure expectations are where they need to be as well.
Hard to develop players when they're getting beaten by 100 odd points, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
it
the
is.
challenge for you when those players that are on the verge of maybe playing AFL footy.
Yeah. I mean, just hopefully that's an aberration. Let's talk about that in a couple of weeks and see where we're at.
Tommy Barrass had a big job round one on Buddy. Do you look to him to be your first choice for someone like Hawkins?
Yeah, that was a tough week for Tom, but I mean, as a backline and as a defensive unit, we probably didn't handle that as well as we could have. You know, as good as Buddy is, we probably had too many contests where it was just one out. So stopping the supply is really important for us. We'd mix that around a little bit. It wasn't just Tommy. So yeah, that's you know, for him to develop. I think he's 22. So he's got some really good footy in front of him, and playing on players like that is exceptional, learning experience. But his confidence is still pretty good. I thought he played a really good game on the weekend, and the backs played a little bit better as a unit. So that needs to evolve for us to make sure we still give him the big jobs and we support him when we have to.
Ablett and Dangerfield can go forward. We saw Dangerfield go forward a lot.
Yeah.
What are your contingencies for either of both of them if they drift forward?
Yeah, we're working through that. Whether he goes forward as much this week or not, it's yet to be determined. But we did notice he was forward a fair bit on the weekend, whether it's first came back from the hamstring or not. But traditionally, he's spent a fair bit of time on ball. So, yeah, last year we had, I think Elliot Yeo did a bit of a job. We'll look at that. But like I said, we're so much different now. So we've got different strengths and different areas we need to work on. So yeah, we'll find out on Sunday.
Yo's a very valuable player for you, isn't he? Because of his physical capabilities with guys like Dangerfield and Fife, the big mids. He's well equipped to play on them wherever they play, basically.
Yeah, no, it's exciting for us. He's an All-Australian defender now, Yoey. So we've got to make sure we keep looking at that. But we've been pushing him in the midfield a little bit. So we'll see how we go this week. But he's got the flexibility to go forward, back, and on ball. So at the moment, he's probably spending a bit more time on ball.
When you beat Geelong last year off your bye,
yeah,
you tackled the heck out of them. Last week didn't seem a heavy tackling type game. Do you sort of remind and you go back to the blueprint of last year and think that tackling a heavy physical game against Geelong is necessary, a repeat sort of stuff?
Yeah, look, tackles are a really good indicator of intent. Sometimes the game doesn't pan out that way with how the opposition's moving the ball, how you move the ball, the conditions. It's hard to get that style of play sometimes that Eddie had. So last year, no doubt, was our best pressure game for the season. And, but I'd be lying if I said that was the only time we really wanted to bring pressure. So that's one of our key indicators of success, and I'm sure it's across the board. Not only put it on, but to handle it as well. So, yeah, to answer your question, that won't change week to week for us. Tackles don't always mean victory, but it definitely shows good intent.
And a bit's been made of their record coming off Easter Monday. They've chartered a flight to come here and suggest that they've identified this as an issue. Do you have to warn your players that this is something, like there'll be intent from them this week because of that, you think, to correct that problem?
Oh, yeah, no. These games, every game is massive. Every game's the biggest game of the year. So I don't have to build our players up for any type of ambush or change of direction from Geelong. They've been playing that for a long period of time. Obviously, smart, really. Waiting for us to get a plane. I'm not sure that's on the agenda, but the fact is it's a big travel for Geelong. We've gone down to their oval a couple of times, and it's the flight then the drive as well. So I'm not too worried about how they get over here.
Can you see a time coming, or has it come already, when you're going to have to counsel Flying Ryan about the packs that he tries to crash? He's going to hurt himself with it.
Well, it's a bit early days for that. That is one of his strengths. He's exciting. We just got to be careful we're not overplaying the whole thing. He's his second game. Played a good game. Played with real excitement and energy, which is great. Great for everyone. He's putting good pressure on and he's playing his part defensively, and we want to let him play with flair with the ball. So we've been really pleased with his whole progression over pre-season and his impact he's had, and along with Willie Rioli and Venables and those guys, Waterman, there's got attributes that we really like. So collectively, we're really happy with all those guys.
He's the second highest scorer for round 2 that match as well. I mean, not bad for a second AFL match.
Yeah, and like I said, the expectations, we've got to keep them in check, because I'm really happy with Lacroix and Darling and Cripps and what they're doing as a leadership in that front half. Like, outside of those three, I think everyone else is under 21. So, what we're doing there is really important, that we use our leaders, because those guys, they're going to be up and down, but they're our future.
You've got quite on SEN this morning, Mike Sheehan floated the idea of a best-of-3 grand final series. Do you have a thought on that?
No, I don't really deal in the hypotheticals. That'll come and go. So at the moment, it's on as one. So best-of-3, I'm assuming that you get home games with that. It wouldn't be all the MCG. So that sounds all right.
Venables, you've got quite improved out of Venables just about every time he's gone out for you this year.
Venables?
Yeah.
Look, he was our #1 pick last year, and he's first full pre-season was over the course of the summer, so he's showing really good signs. He's a different type of player. He looks exactly like Luke Shuey, and he plays a little bit the same. So he'll be a slow burn, but on the weekend he probably showed what he can do in front of the ball. You know, so that's a dynamic that's a little bit different than their other mids. So eventually he'll be a really good on-baller for us. We want to give him time on ball, but working through that front half is something that we're doing at the moment.